When did you realize you don't really have friends? When I thought about who I'd invite to my wedding. Or worse, realizing you don't have anyone to genuinely be your groomsmen or bridesmaids. Oh, now I'm thinking about who I'd invite to my wedding. I don't think I could have a wedding. When I realized that none of them ever called or texted me. The only reason we still talked at all was because I would initiate convos with them, and sometimes they wouldn't even reply to those. I have made some friends now, but man, that really sucked when I realized it. I'm the same way. I have about 7 people that could maybe be considered friends, but not once has any of them tried to message or talk to me on their own accord. I'm always the one to start talking with them, and they seem disinterested even then. How do you make new friends? When I turned on Facebook to see a photo of my entire friendship group holidaying at an exotic island without my having been asked. For the 2nd year in a row. I am a slow learner. Sorry that happened, dude. Similar thing happened to me when I saw Facebook posts of everyone from my college groups at a wedding of 2 of them, that I knew nothing about. I don't mind being unpopular, but sometimes I worry it's because I am seen as a bad person or something. I had an epileptic seizure in front of them. They'd known about my condition for years and seen me have small ones from time to time, but this one was strong enough to knock me off my feet, and I'm not sure if I whacked my head or if the seizure rendered me unconscious, but I got knocked out either way and woke up a bit later to an EMT tending to me. Tried getting in touch with those friends a few times afterwards, but I haven't heard from them since, and I never even so much as got a message or a call to ask if I was okay. I get that it probably gave them a scare, but they're adults, and quite frankly, if after years of friendship and hanging out constantly I was that easy to just cut off communications with, then I can't have meant much to them. They cut you off after a seizure? That's exceptionally cold-hearted to me. My husband has petit mal seizures, has had since childhood. I didn't know him at the time, but when he was about 15, had one in school for the first time in front of friends. They never spoke to him again, and others would avoid him as if it was catching. It devastated him. He dropped out for a while and returned a year later, made new friends but was always wary. We are in a small village. When our son started playing football, we would see these former friends with their kids at practice. They had the cheek to come up and smile and wave and talk about how they hadn't seen him since school. It was great to see him, etc., wanting to be friends. My husband has looked every one of them in the eye and told them fuck off. I hope you will do the same if those pricks show up again. I only get to see the horrific nature of my husband's seizures and the aftermath, and it's terrifying. The normal thing to do is comfort the person who just went through hell. When I was at my lowest and no one was available for a call or to take a walk with me, even if they lived 5 minutes away and were actually available. So I spent a lot of nights on a parking beach in my car just watching at the sea, looking the stars and crying for hours. Edit. I didn't expect my comment to have this much attention. I want to say thank you to everyone. I read all of your lovely messages. For those who are asking, I'm trying my best now. I'm feeling better. Thank you everyone really much, it means a lot to me, all that kindness. Please excuse my English, it's not my native language. I went through the exact same thing with my friends. I feel you, bro. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. I hope you're doing better now. When one of my friends was sleeping with my GF. Then when I found out, all the rest of my friends took his side because he was the weed hookup. Lost 5 friends and a GF in one day. I'm so sorry, you deserve better. Hope things improve. Damn, that's cold. Had a major accident and had to learn to walk again. Not one called, not one came to bring me clothes or visit in hospital. My boss, who had been a twat the entire year, called and even got his wife to go shopping for me and bring me clothes as they had to cut mine off my body. Yeah, I stopped doing the free pub pickups and dropping in to cook dinner and clean their house over a cup of coffee after that. I'm even the godparent to 14 different families' kids over the last 16 years, and realized after the accident I kept getting named because they found out I set up trust funds for my god kids and deposit money every year for them to have when they turn 25. I've made all the funds even with over 5k and refuse to put more in now. I've moved home and countries, so be interesting if they find me to hit me up for the funds in a few years' time. That's a big eye-opener. I understand you. I quit on some family members when they were texting my husband on Instagram like and tell Maria happy birthday from us. If they would text me directly they would pay 10 euro cents for it. I was not worth 10 cents. Family. When people ask me what I did during the weekend, I get so embarrassed about not having any friends that when work colleagues ask about my weekend sometimes I lie and say I did things with friends. At least they're asking. At least they're asking. I've never had close friends. Friends of convenience, friends of location, maybe. I don't know how to open up, how to develop a friendship. My two closest friends from childhood are now on very different life paths than me, so we are slowly drifting apart. It hurts sometimes, but being the introvert that I am, I just keep quiet. As a lifetime friend of introvert, through thick and thin, Jesus Christ, is it hard to be friends with someone who, no matter how long we've been amazing friends, refuses to start a conversation without being talked to first, or invite someone over, or make a friend with a good friend of mine. Shit, are you me? Never really made decent friends as a kid and few lasted beyond the school year. And honestly I'd rather have a dog to hang out with now that I'm an adult. I recently realized that I haven't talked to my childhood best friend in 2 years. They came out as LGBTQ and got that toxic mentality that cis and LGBTQ can't be friends. I'm down to 1 out of 2 childhood friends, and the last friend takes at least a month or 2 before answering texts. I'm seeing lots of pets in my future. When I wanted to throw a birthday party but realized there was no one to invite. Worse is when you throw a b-day party for yourself, pay for your own cake, and no one shows up. I no longer celebrate my birthday. Invited nearly 30 people. 3 showed up, 2 of them were my cousins. The 5th time they forgot to tell me they switched where they were having lunch made me question it. When we organized a trip to the movies and they forgot to pick me up was when it hit. Yeah, I have a former group of friends who would always conveniently forget to invite me to things. By the 5th time it became pretty clear what was going on. And when I showed up to a hangout anyway once and saw their reactions, it was confirmation. This is the worst. I'm sorry. I deleted my social media and nobody talks to me anymore. I've always been awkward and quiet. But I don't dwell on it anymore. I'm learning to enjoy my own company, and if I have to do this life alone, I will be content. So glad to hear that, and such a smart ass. I always feel this way and never been regretting about it. Same, all I have left is Reddit and Twitter. Both which I don't follow my friends or family on. I've accepted that I will die alone, and it honestly just makes living much easier. Ironic. When I got cancer in my 20s. I'm fine now. It's closing in on 6 years. For the first year there was a lot of sympathy. After year 2 it was like I didn't exist. One particular friend hurt the most because it felt like he was essentially saying it's as if I'm dead to him already. And then when I explained this to a mutual friend, it was just too emotionally heavy and I felt her pull away too. I feel like the people who consider themselves my friends now just checking out of obligation. I'm glad that you do have some people checking in. I hope you are doing well. One day I wanted to hang out and realized I didn't have anyone to hang out with. Usually I enjoy doing everything alone. Hiking, biking, camping, fishing, etc. And apparently I turned everyone down so often that nobody bothered asking if I wanted to hang out anymore, cause I always said I was going to do something else. I've started making more time to reconnect with old friends since then and am better off because of it. It's funny when you realize that. I realized that a couple years ago, and what I had to do was force myself to accept invitations. What I found was that I hated getting myself out the door at first, but once I was at a board game night, or arcade, I usually enjoyed it. And if not, I'd leave after an hour. Or I'd make plans to do things I wanted as a condition of going. You went on this date, now you can get fries on the way home. I had made everyone an afterthought because I was fine on my lonesome 90% of the time, but I needed to build those bonds for the 10% of the time. Same thing happened to me. Virtually 100% of my social life revolved around drinking, and when I decided to stop a couple years back, I pretty much alienated all of my friends in the process. Eventually they stopped hitting me up because they knew I'd just turn them down like always. It kind of sucks because I've been friends with these dudes since we were all kids, and they truly are good people that I still consider my brothers even though I don't see them all too often. They are successful people and doing great in life, but from a social standpoint they're still doing the same old shit we used to do and being the one sober person around all of that gets sold, so I just moved on. I'm kind of introverted anyways, so it doesn't bother me a whole lot. I've never understood the stigma around doing things by yourself. I absolutely love it. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.